This is B Castle here. I'm a major One Piece fan. I've been a One Piece fan since 2004, when I first saw the trailer for it by 4Kids, back when I was 10 years old. I said to myself, I'm going to finish this no matter what. So I watched every episode that came out until the show was taken off air. Naruto then became the bigger series, and I watched that just as much. Until 2007, when my family got a new computer. I then watched the Naruto series in Japanese, and then One Piece, and my world was forever changed. When I realized how much better the show was, I watched 314 episodes of One Piece in 3 weeks, and I've been reading the manga ever since as well. I'd like to create a series of podcasts talking about my theories and different factors of the series of One Piece. I can often trace in my life a chapter release of One Piece to a specific event in my life. I can remember certain classrooms I was in school when I read chapters. I could remember certain situations I was in where things weren't so good, and I could look back on it. One Piece has always been very important to me, something that I've always been able to keep to myself. I've watched many video theories, and I've watched many reviews and many recaps, and for a few years now. And I've been very hesitant to come into this space because to me, this has always been an escape. It's never been something that I talk to other people about. But I'd like to enter this space now as a fan. So I hope that together we can go over these theories and enjoy the series. Enjoy yeah, we can enjoy the series together and just have fun looking at all the different aspects of the series, from the seven warlords to the Yonko to the supernova and the worst generation and the straw hats, of course, obviously, all the other pirate crews, you know, the Marines, the world government, CP9, Cypher Pole, Aegis Zero, the revolutionaries, and all the little things that make One Piece great, you know, just from the abilities to the quirks of the different characters to each and every laugh that makes each character that much more of an individual in a series with a cast that seems to go on forever. You know, if you had told me back in 2004 that there'd be over 1,000 name characters in this series and that the bounty cap of 30 million, when Luffy first got his bounty of 30 million, if you had told me that that would be his bounty, you know, for just a little while, I would have thought you were crazy. But to see how crazy the growth is of the Straw Hats and the scope of the world that they're in, and how no matter what happens, they seem to defy the odds. Like fate is on their side. It truly is. Like not even when their skill seems to fail them, there's always something there, like a gust of wind or like the crack of a table, or just there's always that one thing that helps them to get out. And I think their saddest moment for a long time, like the first real moment that broke them was in the Water 7 arc, the Water 7 saga in a whole, when their ship broke down and they were all hurt about it because that was their home and it was something they all had together. Most of the Straw Hats didn't have any stable place to live before that. That like it was the vehicle by which they were pursuing their dreams. They're on this journey together, accomplishing each trying to accomplish their own goal, but it's all leading them to the same place. And that's why the Going Merry was so special, is that they loved the voyage that it was on, and Going Merry knew that. She knew that the entire time, and as they went on these adventures, the soul of the ship manifested and protected them in times of need, and protected herself and rebuilt herself. So when you see them jump into the ocean at the end of the Ennie's Lobby arc, and they're all jumping in out of faith that a crew member, which is Mary, which is a member of their crew, is coming to save them. And then the moment that the ship breaks out of the water and they all get on it was probably one of the highest points at that moment. And it's why before Marineford it was one of the biggest arcs at the time. And the series had a hard time really building up that same angst again. So they get on the ship and they go back to Water 7, and then halfway there, I don't know how far it was, but before they got there, the ship breaks down. And you see all of these characters break down around the ship. And the ship apologized, Going Mary apologized to the Straw Hats for not being able to take them all the way, you know? And it felt like the first Straw Hat had truly died at that moment, because they just the way they had the funeral for her, and to see Luffy break down, and all these characters that had been through so much together watch their house burn down, you know? And they eventually had to overcome that in order to keep moving forward. That was a really good moment for a long time. Short of Ace dying and the Straw Hats being separated in the first half, that was one of the darkest moments. I mean, I can remember waiting for the chapter to come out either Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. The days always moved around, and waiting when Ace got captured for Luffy to save him, week by week. And Luffy's going through hell, literally. He goes through prison. He goes through he goes through Amazons. He goes through prison. He goes through all of these places, and he frees him. He successfully frees him, and then Ace is murdered by Aka Inu on the escape. And that broke my heart. It broke everyone's heart. It wasn't just the fact that Ace was killed that made it sad. It was to see all of the work Luffy put into to save his brother and still fail. And that's what made it such a strong point when he died, was that he still wasn't good enough at that point to fight, and he knew what he was getting into before. But well, after rewatching that arc like 3-4 times now, in English and Japanese, and just in the reading the manga and understanding now, looking back on it, what was going on, he actually did a lot better than he could have, you know, with who was there. He could have got killed, if it wasn't for the plot demanding him to be, survive. I think he would have died in that moment. But anyway, that's just my take on it. So I'm gonna do a series about 24 videos on my 9 favorite points of One Piece, theories, different things I have, and I hope you can all join, and have a nice day, everyone. Hello, everyone. Make sure to like, subscribe, and comment on the video if you're interested in any of those things. And have a nice day.